Hello everyone, we know you're wondering what the modern theme in Engati looks like, and today we'll walk you through all of our platform's features. As soon as you land on the website, you can click on sign up for free and you'll be taken to the registration form. Simply fill out your details and click create an account. You also have the option of signing in via Google or Microsoft 360. When you arrive on the platform, you'll be greeted by an onboarding wizard to help guide you through the features. You'll be asked to create your first bot. Right, let's get started. The Engati bot store has 150 templates for you to pick from and covering every industry. Alternatively, you can create a bot from scratch and customize it according to your needs. The home screen provides a complete overview of the entire bot building process that we'll now walk through. We've already completed the first step, creating a bot. We will now configure the conversational flow. Clicking on Build a Bot will take you into the Flow Builder. Once again, we've got a wizard providing information on how to build a bot. This toolbar lets you play a path on the canvas, edit, or look up path information. Nodes are connected with a simple drag and drop. There's a set of default paths available. You can build further on them or create a new path. Today we're creating a menu flow. Once you click Create Path, you'll be able to find it under the navigation bar on the left, or find them using the search bar. Flows are made up of nodes. Nodes are the building blocks that will allow you to create the user journey. Nodes are divided into 4 broad categories: display information, displaying information to the end user. Supposing we'd like to ask the user to opt from the menu or type in their query. This would be the first message the user sees when interacting with the bot. There are multiple ways of displaying information: send a message with options, send a carousel. A carousel is a card to which we can add an image, a heading, a subheading, and even a button and style it the way you'd like. You can send images, documentation, audio, and video files. The random message feature will allow you to display a different message to the user each time they interact with the bot. You can set it up and the bot will randomly select one every time it gets triggered. The custom node will let you create an HTML CSS card that you can send to your users. The next category of nodes is data input. These allow you to get information from the user. Ask them to upload files. A form node and identity node will ask the user to fill a form in order to proceed with the flow. Request user information can be used when you want to get information from the user conversationally. For example, you can place a validation, whether that's the user's location, their password, a set of numbers, email, mobile, date and time, and regular expressions. The next step is naming your attribute. It's just like a variable. It stores whatever information the user enters. Let's call it name. You can update the username. This acts as an identifier for that particular user. You can provide the user the option to skip the flow by clicking Enable Skip, and you can set it to trigger the next node in the flow. Click Save. Congratulations! This is how your nodes will interact in the flow. The next category are the processing nodes. These nodes are used to handle the flow logic. Trigger a path allows you to connect the paths that are available with each other. You can send email. You have a decision node like if else. The web view node allows you to get parameters or jot form or a Google OAuth. The pause node allows you to pause the flow for a set period of time before continuing. And a script node allows you to do some algebraic calculations and then have the user continue with their flow. You can set user attributes and have them subscribe and unsubscribe to a campaign. Those are processing nodes. Let's say we want to trigger a path from the welcome new user path to trigger it to the main menu. Select the path and click Save. Now someone that interacts with the bot will be greeted with the welcome message and then be redirected to the menu. The final category of nodes is integrations. Engati provides several native integrations which include popular third-party applications like Freshdesk, Google Calendar, Sheets, Salesforce, Zapier, SMS, and multiple nodes via Zapier. For other apps that are not natively integrated, you can use the JSON API node. Add in the request URL, the parameters, headers, or authentication accordingly. You can see the responses if it's a GET. Similarly, if it's for POST and PUT, you'll be able to see the success and failure responses. You'll be able to integrate almost any third-party application with Engati and receive and send information. Let's go back to our overview page. Now that we've built a conversational flow, this step will be crossed out and accompanied by a check mark. Step 3 is where we train the bot. We train the bot in order to enable it to answer questions that aren't available in the flow. This is to respond to ad hoc queries by the user. We can train the bot in 2 ways. Either upload your documents and allow the bot to pass through them to get answers, or set up FAQs where we add questions and answers from which the bot can pick up information to answer user queries. You can manually add FAQs one at a time, or you can create a spreadsheet with questions and responses and upload an entire FAQ bundle. Starting with adding an FAQ. Suppose we'd like the user to know more about our store. We will learn more about entities in just a bit. The response type can either be a message or a path. The message can be information about your store, or you can have the response be a path. Select one that will contain the appropriate information to solve the query. We'll go ahead and add a message for now. Add FAQ. It'll now show up on the FAQs tab. We can download FAQs, view the upload history, and even manage their categories. Let's create a sample category. Suppose one of my business offerings is WhatsApp. We will now be able to tag all related FAQs under this category. Under Add FAQ, if we select the category as WhatsApp and the query is about pricing, we can tailor the response to be different from that of the default category, which might list the normal pricing. Entities are used to extract information from the user queries that come in. If you'd like the users to enter their phone numbers and you want the bot to capture that information, or their email IDs, any custom values that you might have related to your offerings as well, or their city or country or any other information entered by the user to be captured without explicitly asking for it. Entities are the means by which we can do so. Tabular input lets you upload an entire table from which the bot can extract values and provide appropriate answers to the user. Cognitive search helps you find answers from the document that you upload. For example, if we upload a refund policy, locate the file on your system and upload it. Click Save. The bot will process the document and make it ready to search. Any queries about this document or in and around this topic will have the bot respond directly with text picked up from it. Responses are where user responses get captured. We'll revisit the segment at the end once we've completed the user demo to show you what this looks like and how it can be trained. These are the default settings for smart responses, aka FAQs. You can set up the threshold score, which is the matching that should be considered by the bot and the user query, the response match that you have, if you'd like to enable small talk, related matches, contextual responses. If you don't want the interaction to feel entirely robotic, you can set up the response delay duration. This allows a short pause before the bot responds, making it feel like a more natural conversation and avoids overwhelming the user. You can also enable spell check and semantic lookup if you choose. Setting up user feedback. Find out if the bot was able to successfully answer the query by asking for feedback from the user. This can be set up in response training as well. You can get the prompt via text or with the thumbs up and down. You can even dictate the path to be triggered depending on if the feedback was positive or negative. Coming to cognitive search, there are multiple settings available. If you want to prioritize cognitive search over FAQs, you can enable this. You can have multiple results coming in. If there are prompts available, you can enable that as well. This is the text that gets displayed when the response comes in with DocuSense. You can show the section title along with the entire paragraph that the text was pulled from. You can also show the document title, and there is a viewer available with cognitive search. You can pick a highlight color to show which part of the document the information was picked up from. Now that we're done setting up, the last step is to deploy the bot, but before doing so, we need to configure it. The Configure tab allows you to deploy the bot, set up live chat, and customize the branding for your website. Starting with your bot details, you can add a name, the URL, the description of what makes your bot special, the language, and the time zone. The time zone affects the agents that have been added, so you can set it accordingly, or you can override the time zone. You can set the auto-resolve time for an activity as 1, 3, 5, or 7 days. This is for when the user doesn't get back within the time frame, and the chat will automatically be marked as resolved. This is the default styling of the bot. You can browse through the available themes and pick one or configure a theme to match your branding. Once you've settled on a theme, you can change the font, its color, the alignment of the name, whether centered or left aligned. You can pick a new background color and add header text. This appears beneath the bot's name. You can also upload a header icon for the bot. You can set the background to be plain, feature an image, gradient, or video. You can add an avatar to the chatbot to make it appear as if someone on the other end is replying. You have complete control over the bubble color, text color, and how the buttons will display. You can save these changes and head over to the layout. This is the launch icon, which is the Engati logo, but you can change it to what you need. You can have the close button configured to appear at the top or the bottom. You can create a menu to appear in the chat and add options to it. You can also add a launch screen. This is what it'll appear as. If not, the conversation will appear as is. On the launch screen, you can add the agents that are available and how responsive the agents are. You can toggle this as required. You can add buttons to take users directly to the parts that they want. Let's assume it's a schedule or demo. You can add a card title. It can be a path or a URL or an FAQ. All you need to do is add the card. If the users want, they can type in a query and it will proceed to the bot. Moving on to settings. Here you can select Auto Pop-up. When the user lands on a page, the bot screen will open up completely. In case an agent message comes in, you can alert the user via sound. The auto pop-up can be triggered immediately or after a delay. The pop-up type can appear as normal, which is the whole bot, or a closed callout, which is just a message, or minimized, which just shows half the bot with its header and the first message. You can enable editing the previous user's message, permit voice input, and voice conversations with the bot. We're going to cover the live chat routing rules along with the team setup. We can configure the work week to include Sunday and Saturday. Monday to Friday is the default setting. Timings can be configured all at once or broken down day-wise as well. You can also set it up to include holidays. Under the chat settings, you can ask for feedback after issue resolution. Once the agent solves a query, you can ask for feedback from the user. You can send over a transcript of the conversation via email post-resolution. You can configure responses depending on whether the agent is busy or if the chat is getting transferred. And you can set up the maximum wait times for website and application and SLA for resolution. You can enable group conversations. A maximum of 4 participants is allowed. Different SLAs can be set up depending on the various channels your bot is enabled on. You'll be able to see the channel settings as you add them. You can have team categories, where different teams are assigned depending on the category. If you've got operations in the Middle East, for example, you can add it as a category and assign agents accordingly. You can set up routing for live chat. We do this by adding a rule set. We can then configure it by adding attributes and operators along with the rule expression. This is how you can set up routing rules for your customers. Quick responses are added so that agents can get back to users almost immediately. Avoid having your agents type in a phrase repeatedly by simply adding it as a quick reply. The agent will be able to select this option in the chat and send it instantly to the user. Next, we will cover team configurations. You can configure channels and categories for the owner. You can also add in a new team member. We must first choose a role to invite the team member as. If we add them as an executive, they are able to see the analytics dashboard, the configurations, training, and user section. A bot builder can see all the parts of the portal that are used for bot building, the flow builder, training, integrations, and broadcasts and campaigns as well. A supervisor has access to the same features as the owner account except for the Accounts tab. The agent can only access the conversation or messages section here. We've added an agent and now we can enter their name, add their email ID. We can then add the channels that they'll manage. And finally, the category to manage, in this case, default and country Middle East. Click on Invite Member. You can edit assigned categories and channels. You can also delete the member if needed. The Attribute Management System. This is a list of all the attributes that have been defined in the system, if they're custom defined, bot defined, or if they have been deleted. These system attributes are available here. These are the custom attributes that are available. If you'll notice, we've created the name attribute back in the Flow Builder under Menu. We created an attribute where we capture a user's name. This gets counted as a custom attribute. You can go ahead and change the name of the attribute if required, and add or edit the validation message. We can also check the attribute's references. This is to know where a particular attribute is getting used. Here, the path name is menu, the node is request user data, and we can click on the link to take us to the path. When creating a new attribute, we can add it under custom or as a bot attribute. If we click on custom, we can add in the key as attribute 1. Let's make the validation type number. If we enforce validation, we need to add a message such as please add a number. Clicking save will create the attribute. We can delete an attribute. Once we do so, it will show up under the deleted tab. The check history feature allows us to see when and by whom the attribute was created and deleted. You have an activity log of what is taking place with the attributes, and you can edit and rename them as you'd like. Engati has 50+ languages to choose from, so you may deploy the bot with the user's preferred language. By default, the bot is built in English, but if you wish to provide multilingual support to your users, you can enable the languages feature. Click on Add Language and select any one. Next, download the keys. This is a property file. You can make edits to this and upload it back. We are now adding back the file. We'll be able to see the upload history, the number of keys in the bot, and its status. You can add more languages or set other languages as the default. Advanced configurations. Under Advanced configurations, we have voice integrations. There is a separate process to be followed to be able to add a JSON configuration file here. Once it's added, your bot will be able to do a speech-to-text and text-to-speech conversion and give the appropriate answers. Formatting data for attributes that are available. You can add a formatting group. The attributes that are entered might be of a particular formatting number, if you'd want 3-digit numbers or mixed numbers or no grouping at all. Under the time format, if you have a 12-hour or 24-hour, or under date if you have short, the DDMMYY format, or the long format, which is written as the day followed by the date. When collecting data via attributes, this would be the accepted format when coming from the user. Creating such groups will make it easier for you to collect data from the user. We also have security measures, most of which are enabled by default. You can allow your agents to download conversations or share files with users. Outside of the few attributes that are editable, if you want agents to be able to edit all of them, you can enable this. If you want to add a supervisor but don't want to give them access to the Flow Builder, you can uncheck this. You can enable IP address and location collection if a user is communicating with you via WebBot. You can allow the agent to see all conversations with the bot or disable it so that they can only see the messages they exchange with the end user. We've finally arrived at deployment. There are 14+ channels to choose from on which to deploy your bot. You can deploy it on your mobile app or website. Click Connect. Set the type as website deployment, or if you want, a direct link. You can set the position as bottom left or bottom right. You can restrict the domains in case you want the bot to be available or open only on certain domains. You can add the website URL and simply copy the script and add it to your website in order for the bot to appear as a widget. We enable you to deploy on other platforms like Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter, Skype, Skype for Business, Telegram, Microsoft Teams, etc. You can access integrations from here at the bot level. You can access it from the account level as well, or on the menu on the left. These are the natively available integrations. You can have these connected to your accounts and then raise tickets on your Freshdesk or Zendesk ticketing system. You can add leads to your Salesforce sheets and schedule appointments using Google Calendar. Google Analytics provides insight into how the user journeys flow throughout the bot. Connecting Google Analytics will enable it to view this on your dashboard. Add SMS as a channel and integrate it if you want to send alerts or text to your user. If you wish to integrate with third-party applications outside of these, you can easily do so by using the JSON API node. Broadcasts and campaigns. Broadcasts and campaigns are used to engage with the users who have already conversed with the bot once. Broadcasts help push messages to users who have previously engaged with the bot. Click on Manage Broadcasts. Create a new broadcast. You can name it, select the channels on which you want it sent. Select the broadcast type as a message with options, or if you'd like to trigger a complete path that you've created, like the menu. You can target segments depending on if you want to send to all your users or a selected set. Schedule it to be sent now or set it up for later, where you send it once and set the date and time to do so. You can then publish the broadcast. Campaigns help you engage with users who have not completed a particular flow that you wanted them to complete. For instance, if they're filling up a form and they haven't submitted the form yet, we can create a campaign called Reminder. Once created, we can edit the campaign. Click on Add a Message. You can send a message or a path. Our message might be, please complete the following flow. It can appear after the steps start. It can be scheduled for immediately or have a delay in days, hours, or minutes. You can set the days on which the campaign will interact with the users, in this case from Tuesday to Friday. You can then hit Publish. Now that we've configured everything from the flows to training the bot and setting up broadcasts and campaigns, we can test the bot. Click on the test path at the top of the toolbar. We're able to see the welcome message along with the menu. It asks for a name, so go ahead and type in a name. Then ask a query about the business. It will respond with the answer that we have set up in our FAQ section. We also uploaded a refund policy for the bot to pass through. If we ask it, how can I return my order? The bot will pull up relevant text from the document. Going back into the portal, if we look at the Responses tab, we'll be able to see the questions and answers from the bot. We can now train the bot to answer with a different response from the one it gave. This could be a message or a path. We can also add variations of the question like, what is the procedure to return this order? Under the Users tab, we'll be able to see that Drishti has been in touch with the bot. It shows that they're still online and having a conversation with the bot on this URL. We can open their profile and see when they were last active, along with any attributes that they might have set. Under the Conversations tab, we'll be able to see the website conversation that took place. Hi, welcome. Choose from the menu before we proceed. This was the conversation handled by the bot. Say there's a conversation we want handled by the agent. First, they'd need to mark themselves as available. It can be assigned to the agent from the path, or the agent can pick it up from the All Conversations tab. There are 2 conversations available. Let's pick Drishti to begin a conversation with. click Proceed. Pick up a response from within Quick Reply by asking them, "Hi, how can I help you?" This is what it looks like on the user's end. We are now having a conversation with the agent. I need help with my issue. The agent then gets notified about the new message that's come in. The agent can send images, share files, or send an emoji to the end user. They can also add notes. They needed help with issue number 1. The agent can access recent conversations, if any. They can see additional attributes that are added. They can also look up the event log history that an agent joined the conversation. Invite other agents if they are available in the account. And resolve the conversation. The bot then asks the user for feedback. For the purposes of this demo, we'll be looking at the data of a bot that's been used thoroughly so that we can gain detailed analytics. We can look at the engagement and set filters for the past week or month or a specific set of dates. We're presented with a graph, the most frequent messages as well as the messages received and sent. We can look at bot responses in a similar manner. This shows us the number of queries answered versus unanswered. We can also see user retention analysis. The live chat summary is presented with the help of charts, requests by channel, by status, wait time, and the resolution time. We can also look at agent analytics. Here there have been 5 inbound requests and 4 have been resolved. First response is 20 and the resolution has reached 80%. This has been the complete overview of the platform that we have seen. Any questions can be directed to info@engati.com and one of our representatives will be happy to connect with you.